Before I start this video, I want to be clear. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. This is not medical advice. This video is not medical advice, period. I'm not giving medical advice. This is my opinion regarding a freedom of speech issue. It has nothing to do with me giving medical advice. Okay. Now, Dr. Joseph Mercola, who I think is scammy, okay, but a lot of these guys are scammy, okay? Even good doctors like Dr. Furman, Dr. Joel Furman, I think is scammy, okay? A lot of these guys, and it's not, let me explain. There's a difference between lying and misrepresenting fact. What do I mean by that? By focusing on certain facts and omitting other facts, one can paint a picture that makes something look more marketable. Is that illegal? No, it's not. Companies do this all the time. And least harmful, I think, are dietary supplement companies doing it. I don't really think they're harming people by explaining the health benefits of various supplements. And of course, we know from when Dirk Pearson, one of the co-authors of Life Extension, a Practical and Scientific Approach, when he sued the FDA, he made it so, basically, so supplement companies were allowed to state, if it was backed by science, that this supplement does this, this, and this. What Dr. Mercola was doing was not, it wasn't against science. And this is the thing, people confuse these things. Scientific consensus, medical consensus. Consensus does not mean correct, okay? That's the truth. That's the truth, okay? So when people say, oh, well, 9 out of 10 scientists agree that global warming is happening. Okay, well, I can show you other scientists that disagree. Who's right? Who has better data? Who's showing the data? Okay, now the thing with Mercola, and I'm going to leave links in the description that hopefully will not get my video taken down. They're right to the National Institute of Health's medical library, pubmed.gov. So they're government information. This is government-approved information. So whether or not, what my point is I'm not misleading people. This is not advice. But what it is it is evidence. It's evidence from research that shows some of the things that Dr. Mercola was saying were in fact true as far as the data says. And that's what you have to look at, is people that choose not to look at the data and just say, oh, well, 9 out of 10 doctors say this, or my doctor says that, or my doctor says this. That's stupid. A person's personal opinion, whether they're a doctor or not, is still a personal opinion. It's a person's personal opinion. So when Dr. Mercola makes personal opinions based on on research evidence, and I want you to be certain, I don't agree with Dr. Mercola. I think he's scammy. I think, like I said, I think a lot of doctors are scammy. Even Dr. Greger, who's like the least scammy of the health people on YouTube, I consider him the least scammy. Even he's scammy, okay? And you got to really look. You got to weigh out what people are saying, and you got to, weigh it out and take a look at it and, do your own research. And I think that that's what's being lost in the sauce here, is people are not understanding the importance of doing their own research. I also think what you're seeing is you're seeing allopathic medicine, which, by the way, as far as I know, Dr. Mercola is a practitioner of allopathic medicine. I don't believe he's a naturopath, okay? But what I think you're seeing is, allopathic medicine take advantage of the current situation we're in to do kind of a bum's rush on every other form of medicine, so that they're the only medical opinion. And again, this is not medical advice. This is my personal story. What got my tachycardia under control? Well, it was in my opinion, based on my experience, it was a combination of me taking specific supplements that I discovered worked through a combination of resources, including Dr. Atkins' Vitanutrient Solution, and on top of that, PubMed.gov. And Dr. Wallach's book. So these supplements, like I've been hammering magnesium citrate, okay? I take magnesium citrate every day. I take 500 milligrams every day, at least 500 milligrams, sometimes up to 1,000 milligrams, to help control the rhythm of my heart. Now, that's not medical advice. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm explaining that whatever's going on with my heart that the cardiologists don't know. That's a fact. They don't know what's going on with my heart. They've flat out told me that. I've been told that by emergency room doctors. One doctor actually told me, we don't really know what's going on with you, so yeah, we don't know. You're going to have to leave. That was what one emergency room doctor told me. Okay? So my point is that these alleged... to say that Dr. Mercola is misrepresenting facts is one thing. To say he's lying is another. And CNN has accused him of lying, basically. Misrepresenting facts to sell products is not illegal. Okay? If you want it to be illegal, you shouldn't go after people like Dr. Mercola first. You should be going after people like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, okay? The meat industry, okay? The egg industry, the dairy industry, the sugar industry, the candy industry, okay? The chips industry, the snack food industry. These things pose a much greater harm to the public than Dr. Mercola does. And that's what I'm trying to explain here is the misrepresentation of facts, which is what Dr. Mercola does in a way because he's focusing on certain truths, but not other truths, which said to sell health supplements is somewhat dishonest, but it's in my opinion less dishonest than a lot of things. And some of the things that he may have misspoken about, I believe were his personal opinion, which he has a right as a United States citizen to have an opinion. He has the right as a doctor to have an opinion. As a physician, he has the right to try off-label remedies and things of that nature. That's what doctors do all the time, sometimes resulting in great successes, sometimes not. But my point is, and I'm hoping this video doesn't get taken down for the subject matter, but the facts are the facts. If anybody is, CNN should be blamed for harassment. I think Dr. Mercola should sue CNN for harassing him. That's what I think. I think he should also sue the federal government for trying to curtail his freedom of speech. I think what's also interesting is this reminds me of the days back when Dr. Atkins, they tried having Dr. Atkins' right to publish books removed because they didn't like what his books had to say. Well, the fact of the matter is, millions upon millions of people have been saved by what Dr. Atkins put in those books. Millions of people have been saved by the Atkins diet. Okay? Is it the best diet? Not really. It can be made much healthier, and that's why I promote like the Eco-Atkins diet. Okay? Yeah, the Atkins diet can be made a lot healthier, especially if it's vegan. But yeah, I mean, the facts are the facts. Millions of people's lives have been saved through the Atkins diet. Now, whether there's data to support that or not, but a lot of people have lost weight, which helped to reverse life-threatening conditions that they had developed from being obese. Okay, just from the Atkins diet. Let's not even talk about the Atkins Vitanutrient Solution. And people forget about the in-clinic evidence. Dr. Atkins used supplements to take people off many medications. Okay? He was a big believer in using supplements in place of medicine whenever possible. And so in doing that, he controlled the symptoms of a lot of people's health conditions. Do you think that these case files were imagined or that his patients imagined themselves better or that it was all a placebo effect. And again, with my heart, after doing things like hammering down the magnesium every day, taking certain amino acids that are beneficial to the heart health, re-upping the good fats in my diet, and things of that nature, yeah, my heart started getting back to normal. Okay? So my point is, was that a placebo effect? It could have been. I highly doubt it, but it could have been. And if it was a placebo effect, why wasn't the medication giving me a placebo effect? I do think the medication is helping, but I had to start doing other things. I think, not medical advice, this is my opinion, I think the medication is helping, but I had to take other things to help with other aspects of my health. And there's another dude on here, I did a channel shout out to him, York Cardiology. I love the guy's channel. His name's Sanjay Gupta, a different Sanjay Gupta, and I'll leave a link. He is a big believer in the use of magnesium to control arrhythmias. Now, is that somehow, and also vitamin C. Now, is that somehow now, is that anti-medical knowledge now, even though it does seem to work? Okay, and there's research to back it up. So should he not be allowed to be on YouTube now because people like Dr. Mercola are misleading the public? I don't think Sanjay Gupta from York Cardiology, he has no reason to mislead the public. He's a government doctor in England that doesn't sell anything. Is he misleading the public by talking about the research on vitamin C and magnesium that help with heart rhythms? Or is he doing his job as a doctor to inform the public of options that they might have to help themselves get better? And that's all for this video. Oh yeah, check the links in the description. Remember, nothing I'm saying in this video is medical advice. But the links in the description do somewhat corroborate some of the things that Dr. Mercola is being alleged to have mislead the public on, when you will see that there is actually evidence that these things do what he says they do. Whether or not the medical consensus agrees is different than whether or not science says that these things may work. Okay? And that's what you need to understand. Science and the scientific consensus, medicine and the medical consensus, are two very different things. And that's all for this video.